War of the Ninja Monsters, Jaron versus Goura.
Yeah, and it's it's an interesting movie with a lot of positive sides to it
Yeah,
and a few negative. It is a micro budget movie, 100%. It seems like it was mostly self financed, but there was some crowdfunding to fund the suits, which are absolutely amazing,
yeah.
and the special effects, which are not.
Yeah. So the suits are absolutely outstanding. One of the things after I watched this, talking to Dan, texting back and forth about it, I was like, those suits are like too good to like be a one and done thing. Like they need to bring this back for a sequel movie, something. Uh, the Gora suit, awesome. It's giant turtle. It's got aspects of Narunga. No, not Narunga. The one that turns into a drill from Ultraman. The big fin sticking out,
I know what you're talking about. I don't
and
know
it
the name.
even has a form that's CG'd in the movie where the fins close and its head's like shielded. Um, Really cool. I did not realize that Jaron was supposed to be a snake, though. It looked more like Godzilla, lizard-like to me. But
Yeah, I think part of that is its transition over to having a human suit actor.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
they had to make it bipedal. They had to give it claws for their arms to go somewhere.
yeah,
Um, I think if you look at the Zorn art, where it seems like a little bit more, the body kind of waves a little bit more,
yes,
and you can even see concept. You can kind of see art of it in the movie because people are drawing it because they can't take
yes,
pictures of it. Um, it is a little bit more snake-like, but there are still claws and there are still feet.
yes.
Um, it's almost more like a when they draw it, it almost looks a little bit more like a
Like
Chinese style
yeah, like
dragon or like a
Manda or something
Shenron
like
or
that.
something.
Yeah,
But obviously, when you transition over to having a human suit actor, how are you going to do that? You have to make it bipedal
yeah,
lizard type of thing. The
yeah.
head was really cool of it. It almost reminded me of like a. It did seem more snake like the
Yes,
head,
it did. Yeah,
especially with the eyes and the kind of like horn ish skin,
yeah,
where it was a little bit more spiky on the ends. It kind of reminded me of like a cobra. But yeah, very lizard.
yeah,
It is what it is. And plus, you want the giant lizard versus the giant turtle.
yeah.
That's what everybody wants.
Yes. Literally, we want it.
Yes.
uh,
Which, yeah, you go
no,
on.
no, but one of the other shining points of this is we got incredible setting shots of the city of Chichibu. Incredible looking panoramics and just great scenery, great cinematography for the opening. Pretty much anytime they change scenes, we got these beautiful scenic shots. Um, Overall, there was the whole movie was actually like pretty nicely filmed, pretty good cinematography. Like you said, the some of the special effects are like questionable.
Yeah,
Um,
almost to the point where you're like, they didn't even need to use the effect. They could have just not done that and it would have been
yeah,
fine. For the fighting scenes, I understand because you need to have lasers and stuff like that.
yeah.
But, like,
They didn't get very physical with the suits either. They didn't
no.
actually ever really wrestle
Which,
much.
which makes me think that hopefully this is, we're saving the suits for a sequel movie
Yeah,
and we don't want them to get too roughed up.
yeah,
Apparently, I did do a little bit of reading today about this, and apparently people had the same issues with the Riga trilogy, where the suits were kind of there and they weren't being used to their fullest potential.
hmm.
Um, we'll have to see. Obviously, I think that with the way that they ended this movie, I think that there are plans for a sequel. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
greenlit, but I think there are plans.
I
I have
definitely laid the
concepts of a
groundwork.
plan.
It laid the groundwork. Um, with with SRS putting this out, it would be really cool. You know, SRS does Indiegogos for some movies sometimes. It would be really awesome if like they could like somehow like get U.S. crowdfunding because when this first went up way back on crowdfunding, it was on some Japanese crowdfunding website, and I wanted to support it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you couldn't because when you get to the point where you got to enter your address information, you get asked for your prefecture and all this stuff, and basically you needed to live in Japan to do that on those sites. I wish sometimes some movies that are in different countries, they'll do their crowdfunding on this site for that country, and then they'll also go to this site too to get some more. Uh,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
it would be really cool if somehow if they could be like, hey, listen, you did this movie over there on the states, you brought it over. We're looking to make another one. Would you run an Indiegogo for us? You could crowdfund the Blu-rays. I'm sure there's a lot of logistics to that though. Is the problem because
What's the revenue split?
SRS, yeah,
Stuff like that.
SRS needs to get get they need to get some compensation for it, of course, and then of course the original guys, they're gonna want their money. So there's gonna be a lot more work involved with that. I'm sure. It's probably not a very easy thing to do at all. Crowdfunding is very hard just to run. So there's a lot of math and stuff to go behind that. But I would totally be down to support like another movie like this. It's even like the Brush of God movie too. That looks incredible.
Yeah, and it still hasn't come over here, which I'm actually surprised that hasn't been
It,
an
it had
SRS
like
release.
a film festival screening here, but hopefully we get a U.S. release. Maybe if I had to guess, maybe SRS is going to be on that one. I hope.
I hope. I was actually surprised that hasn't come out.
Yeah,
It hasn't been one yet
yeah.
because
Um,
that's the same people who did Howl Beyond the Fog, right? I think
maybe
I'm wrong. I
it could be.
I might be
It's
wrong.
it's really it's some really I'm trying to blank on the names right now.
No
So
worries. I didn't mean to be quizzing you on it.
yeah, but
Um,
yeah, no. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. There's some good humor in there.
yeah, my favorite. Some of the humor didn't hit with like the JSDF stuff with me.
Oh, you didn't? I thought that was hysterical. That
I
scene.
thought the newscast was really funny.
Yes.
Both of them, the one where the camera didn't work and the one where like the lady was just like just took over the newscast and they had to like cut it. And then the obviously the giant onigiri on the train.
Yeah.
These things were like bigger than softballs.
Yeah.
I've never seen them that big before. I thought the one thing that would have been funny though with the English subtitles was to just call them donuts like Pokemon did.
That's true.
But I guess I don't really super like it when they take liberties with the subtitles. But it would have been a little funny.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I mean, overall, it's pretty good. Special effects were not great,
Yeah,
and
the
because
greens.
it's only a 55-minute movie, it's a very connect the dots yourself kind of movie. I mean, they do lay a lot of it out for you, but it's still kind of like a,
Scattered and
a
you have to
little,
figure it out yourself.
yeah. Um, we don't get the two main characters' names at
We
all.
don't get like any
We don't get
character
anybody's names.
names.
We get a crazy lady's name, uh, and the one villain that appears in like sort of like the post kind of like burner at the end of the movie there, the Lord Kiryu, and that's
Yeah.
it. Those are like the only names we get.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a subtitle thing. The credits weren't subtitled. So I didn't, you couldn't really read it. You go on IMDb and a bunch of other sites and they don't really have
Yeah.
character names either. So I don't know, I don't know what's up with that. But again, great shots, funny characters, plot's a little wonky. Not gonna lie there. Um, but it did me. I did leave the movie saying I want to see a sequel to this.
Yeah,
I want to see where this is going. I
it's
felt like this needed another 30 minutes. Is
it's
what I felt
yes,
like.
that's what I felt too, and I don't know if that was part of the crowdfunding thing. Maybe if they would have got more from the crowdfunding, they would have gone longer.
Because
Uh,
I did see on the original Sci-Fi Japan news article for this that it was listed that this was going to be an 88-minute movie.
yeah, and it's
Okay,
only
so we're missing
55.
33 minutes here.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't know what happened with that.
yeah,
And there's supposed to be a 45-minute making of, which I do think I watched most of the making of, and I fast forwarded through a lot of it because a lot of it was none of it was translated, and if they weren't talking or doing a video and it was just slideshow, I'd just fast forward. But yeah, it was a really cool making of. They looked like they had a ball making this movie.
yeah,
Like it looked really fun, and it actually made me appreciate the movie even more. You got to see the actress that was like the ninja daughter, and she's like, "Oh, it's like this is like my first time playing a ninja." She's like, "I'm looking forward to it." Like they're doing like all the cool shots by the waterfall and all that stuff. It was really fun to watch because
yeah,
it was kind of like sometimes it was a little vloggy where you can actually like they're like bringing the camera around town and they're talking with everybody and they're showing off the scenery and stuff
yeah.
like that. It was pretty fun. Um, do you want to do a quick? I mean, the
Yeah, we'll
plot's
do a
really
quick.
easy to go
Yeah,
over
we'll
on
do a
this
quick
one.
plot synopsis. Basically, movie opens up. We have this girl praying at a waterfall. Then we cut to a like gym or athletic facility. This lady comes running into this office. These two guys are kind of just hanging out, and she's like, "The gym's doomed. We're screwed. We're not going to make enough money." And they're crunching some numbers on the computer, and there's all these posters and references to other movies and stuff around the office. There's a Godzilla figure, a Gamma Legion figure in the background. A bunch of other references to all movies connected to the suit actors and
Yeah,
creative
because our two male
designers.
leads are the suit actors from. I'd say most famously GMK or the Heisei Godzilla Gamera movies, whichever
Yeah,
one you think is more status symbol.
yeah,
Um, but I thought it was cool that we have Ghidorah and GMK Godzilla
yeah,
in palling around on a train eating
yeah,
onigiri together.
yeah. So basically, those two actors are like they run the gym, and it's kind of funny because like I said, I'm watching Ultraman Leo, and he and his friends kind of work in a similar athletics facility. They're doing like gymnastics and stuff, and basically like their day ends, and basically this gym's failing, and like I thought that would have been like some sort of plot point for this movie. Like I thought, like at the end of the movie,
We're gonna
like
save the gym.
or no, I thought they were going to destroy the gym and collect some insurance money.
That'd be cool too.
That's what I thought was going to end. They're like, "Oh, the gym's destroyed, but now we get this huge insurance claim, and we're going to be back on our feet." Like that's what I thought the ending might be.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the gym's failing, and the one dude's like, "Hey, I know how to cheer. You know what I do to cheer myself up? I go hiking through the caves." And they're like, "Yeah, let's go to the caves." So they hop on the train. They have this big rice ball onigiri scene. They're on the train eating these like they're like just like eating
They're
like these.
literally like they're like globes. They're like this big.
Yeah, they're eating these rice balls. They're like exaggeratedly big. They get to the cave. This is one of the gripes here that me and Dan talked about. Uh, I don't know if it's because the cave scene was like green screen. They walk through a forest. There's two ninjas watching them. Uh, that we don't.
Kind of lose track of.
Yeah, we lose track of them for some
I don't.
reason. They
Same thing
don't. They
with the
don't
gym
appear
lady.
again.
There's characters that just
I don't
disappear
know
in this
which
movie.
ninjas those were either. Um,
I don't think they were the good ninjas.
well, or I mean, I don't know if they were the bad ninjas either, because
I don't know. The good ninjas was the girl and the guy with like the wolf
yeah,
mask.
yeah, but they looked exactly the same. Like they had the same ninjas get up.
I
Like I don't
I
know,
don't know, man.
just different mask. Okay, so they get to this cave. They go through this cave. The ground shakes. They hear a weird noise, and this box rolls from the ceiling. And then they hear this voice, and they see this man with an eye patch saying, release their power, blah, blah, blah. And this cave scene, they're going through the cave with this flashlight, but like they can't just like show the flashlight. They had to like CG the light, and it was just so
It's like,
weird.
yeah, they could just turn on the flashlight
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
just
wait,
have that being like
I'm
ambient
like, I don't
light.
know if it's because of the whole green screen that the flashlight was going to screw up the green screen that they didn't use a
But
real.
this is my thing too. They also filmed a lot of stuff on location. So
Yes,
it didn't need to be in a cave. They could have passed like a mountainside or a temple or
and just
something.
darkened it up or something like that. They could have done it at night. Yeah,
Yeah, like there was things that they could have done where it's just like, was this necessary?
yeah. So they take this stone box out of the cave that's very heavy. They place it on a stone. They open it up, and there's nothing but dirt in it at first. But then they dig in. They open a scroll, and the two of them begin fighting over it. The smoke comes out of it. It rips in half, and they both pass out on a rock. And then we see they wake up in almost this dream state, and they're gigantic. And we see them in their human forms, but the people on the street see them as the kaiju. Um, Now, while all this is happening, there's this woman, Sogan, uh, who we also see pray at a shrine to the turtle, asking for it to protect them. And she goes on public access television and is like, the Jirai are going to come back and destroy us. And the public access lady is just laughing at her. And she's like, why are you laughing? Oh, she's like, no, I was just surprised what you said. I wasn't laughing at you. And basically, they cut to commercial. They're like, this lady's crazy. We got to get her off our public access channel. Basically, this is what she was foretelling. So, these Jirai, if these two kaiju somehow merge, they're gonna bring back this ancient ninja cult that conquered the world. And there was another clan of ninjas, the Mitsumini. Yeah, Mitsumini. They were the ones that kind of sealed them away. So they turn into monsters. All the people are fleeing. They kind of can't control their bodies. They can, but then they have like these urges where they can't, and they just start destroying things, fighting each other, blasting each other. Um,
There's some
Nobody.
weird green screen, them fighting with samurai swords.
Yes, that was
Uh,
towards the
like
end.
this was like the stuff that would, like didn't look great. It was a
Yeah,
lot of like green screen stuff.
and it was like, why did that need like? They didn't clearly they didn't do a minute. They didn't build
Yeah, if they
miniatures.
had the money for a miniature set, this would have looked much better.
Yeah,
But yeah, a micro budget. You have to
yeah,
keep expectations in line.
yeah,
But then you have a movie like Uzo where it did look better.
yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, for some reason these monsters can't show up on camera, and eventually this other ninja tribe gets involved, and they perform this uh, poison leaf spell, and the one ninja, the Mitsumini female ninja, like enters into like this dreamscape and fights the leader of the Jirai that's trying to bring these monsters back. She defeats him, and the two guys, they just kind of disappear out of their monster state, and they get woken up by this rescue team, these mountain rescue folks that got told that they got told that they got lost in the woods. So I don't know who told them that they got lost hiking. Maybe it was the ninjas there. I don't know.
That, or maybe it was just like a hey, like
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like a thing you have to like check in before you go hiking. Like maybe it was
maybe.
like that type of thing. Like, hey, those guys never came back.
Yeah.
Like you have to go look for them.
And one of the rescue guys was the same actor as the leader of the Jirai that was trying to bring them back. And the guys freak out. They're like, "You're the guy with the eye patch trying to get us to fight." And that's the last we see of them after they wake up. Then it cuts to this kind of post movie scene where we see the leader going up this temple. He goes in, and then it turns out that he wasn't the main guy. He was sort of like the Chunin. Uh, and there's Lord Jirai, and we find out that that female ninja was his daughter. And he's impressed that she survived, but he's like, "Don't worry." He's like, I don't have a sore spot for her." And he's like, "It's time to summon Jiraki." And then it kind of ends with her saying that she's ready to defend and will defend him again and stop them next time they return. And
Yeah.
that's the wrap. So there's another monster coming, and yeah, maybe we'll get some more story in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see where this goes. I
yeah,
think it was a worthwhile watch. It's an hour, a little
yeah,
less than an hour,
yeah.
actually. So I know, like, a a lot of people have had a little backlash about this movie and stuff like that. If you're looking for the highlights, they're there.
Yeah.
You got to take all the bad stuff with a grain of salt. You have to manage expectations going
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, keep in
Um,
mind they crammed all this into 55 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
very hard thing to do. I think a lot of people lose perspective on that.
Yeah.
And while there was some comedy in this, like the whole
I
like
thought
JSDF not responding to any calls and not doing anything
yeah.
ever, and the whole like the it was pretty funny with like the cameras not working and like everyone comparing their duos to each
Yeah.
other.
I
And then like she's got like a crappy drawing and she's like, she's like, I'm a manga artist. And everyone's just like, oh, you are.
yeah. And I like the self defense force bit because I guess you'd appreciate it more if you had to do uh ever work a phone for a
Yeah.
job. I mean,
Yeah.
I've worked in IT and I've had to do helpline stuff before and during COVID was insane. So I understood those guys' frustration with the phone calls. Sometimes eventually gets to the point where that phone rings, you're like, oh, damn it. And then their boss comes in and is like, "You gotta be nice to them." And then she picks up the phone and then curses at the people. I thought it was a pretty decent bit, but I thought it was also funny when they're like, "No, you gotta contact your local police about that one." Nope,
Yeah.
contact your local police about that one. That was like the line. Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
their IT crowd version of "Have you tried turning it on and off and on?"
Yeah. But like, yeah, so it did have comedy and bits like that, but I didn't feel like it was one of those like
I thought it played pretty straight, honestly.
comedy kaiju movies.
Yeah,
Like your kaiju monos, your Uzos,
yeah,
stuff like that. I felt like this is a little bit more, they played the kaiju stuff a little bit more straight on it. It wasn't super comedy all the time.
yeah. I think they played it pretty straight on this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was actually like really happy with it. Like you said, that there's definitely flaws with the CG, the special effects, and just like the weak plot. I mean, there's
Yeah.
not enough character development. We don't even get characters' names. Like I said, we don't know the female ninja's name. We don't know the two guys that were the main characters of the movie's names.
Yeah.
All we got is the random crazy lady and Kiryu, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Um, as far as where to watch this movie, SRS Cinema, go to their store. They have the Blu-ray available. I believe early 2025 they're going to have the wide release DVD that they always do, and usually around that time is when I think it goes up on Tubi as well.
Yeah,
So it will be available for streaming as well.
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely check out this movie. Check out SRS. You get this, as long as they have available, you get this cool poster.
Some Jeff
Artist,
some Jeff Zornow art. I got the
yeah, I'm
T-shirt.
gonna bring it to Kaiju Brooklyn Godzilla Celebration and see if I can get it signed.
No, definitely.
Yeah, super super excited about this.
No, and we always appreciate the SRS Cinema releases. The next one up is Hoshi 35. Really excited about that one. It's got an all-star cast of past Toku actors,
Including the guys from
suit
this movie.
designers, the guys from this movie. Uh, Yeah, that's going to be a big one. I've been looking forward to seeing that. I love the indie stuff. It's we got to get a little something different.
I like the 3Y stuff. Like they did
Yeah,
Nazara, they did Great Buddha Arrival.
yeah,
They do good stuff.
yeah, yeah. So definitely looking forward to that. And let's see what SRS has for us next year after that. I'm really looking forward to it. SRS hasn't let us down yet. Thank you, Ron Bach, and keep bringing
Yeah.
those kaiju films over here for us.
Yeah, the stuff that he gets is absolutely amazing, and he's doing work that for some reason other people just aren't. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be getting any of these
No,
movies, honestly.
no, it's it's mind-boggling that yeah, he's the only one that's pushing there for it.
Yeah,
He's putting in
yeah,
that hard work.
yeah. I know. It's got to be incredibly hard work to get this stuff out there, and it's appreciated. And plus, he's the one who gets like all the cool cover art for all these movies.
Yeah, yeah. He goes out, he commissions these great artists. I can only imagine what he's got in store for Hoshi 35. I don't know if that was the cover art that they revealed or not, but
Well, I think that's the cover art that they have on the Japanese release.
yeah.
Which sometimes, depending on what goals are hit, you will get a double sided.
Yes, I think that was a goal for this, but I don't think they reached the sale amount that they wanted to for a second cover. I don't know how you could top a Jeff Zornow cover with a set. I don't know what the second cover could have been.
I don't know if it had an original Japanese one.
Yeah, maybe
That would
sometimes
be
they
the only
have
thing
done
I could
that.
think
Like
of.
they did that with the Yokai War. They had the Bob Eggleton one, and then they had the Japanese original art on the inside. It could have been that. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah,
thank you guys for watching. I think that about wraps it up for this episode. And we'll be back with you guys soon, potentially with a nice special guest.
yeah, yeah. We're setting it up. Hopefully, that'll be the next episode. We got to see how the schedule works out, guys.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.
Bye.